What's up, guys? How's everybody doing? We got FOMC going on today. Great decision. Just a few minutes, 10 minutes out. What's up? What's up? Good morning, Blair. Afternoon here. Stelios, welcome, welcome. Antonin, welcome. So if you guys remember, if you were in the live stream this morning in Flipping Futures, we were talking about this zone down here. It's still kind of played a key role, but not too significant now that we've traded up and down. But I am kind of watching this area because it's still around VWAP. But honestly, it's probably not so significant that it's not going to get traded right through with FOMC. So we've pretty much just been in this consolidation range. Yeah, excited to get some volatility back. Afternoon, Alex, Blair. Finally got some volatility back. Yeah, it's been a good time to sit on your hands. What's up? What's up? All right. So pretty much all week we have been on an uptrend. We gapped up to start the week, and looking at pretty much every time frame, hourly, etc., we've just been kind of grinding higher. With the exception today, this week, we're kind of just sideways. Kind of just sideways here. Show you what I'm looking at. It's just been a kind of slow but steady, just grind up all week. And then obviously looming over the market is this interest rate decision. I think the market's like 99% betting on the fact that we just have a 25%, not 25%, 25 basis point cut. So it's probably going to be just a wiki up and down move unless something surprises the market. So 4-hour chart here, you can see the market's been struggling on this all-time high breakout. We've just been pretty much consolidating in this zone, looking at the 4-hour chart. So on this all-time high breakout yesterday, we had this gap up. So key area that I'm watching is this gap area that we started the week on. Could easily see us retesting that with the news. We've been pretty much just holding these higher lows all week and grinding higher. Now, to afternoon yesterday, overnight, and into today, we've pretty much just been holding this consolidation range. So that's what I'm watching. Kind of watching to see if we get, a fake out and mean reversion there on the news, or a little fake out drop in mean reversion. If we just kind of stay in balance, if there's no real trending continuation either way, we just may have a little bit of a dip in mean reversion here and not really do anything. Or, we could just blast straight up. If we get outside of this consolidation range, hold, we could move higher. If we get outside of it, hold, we could move lower back towards the gap level. That's generally a rule of thumb of how I treat consolidation ranges like this. If you guys are in the Flipping Futures community that I run, I've been talking about this since this morning. This pretty much just balance range. We saw it kind of forming already overnight just based on the volume profile patterns. And I'll show you what I was looking at there. So looking at the volume profile chart here, kind of saw this already developing. We just kind of built this mountain of volume and just kind of declining interest. But we've been uptrending, and we kind of have been leaving these peaks and valleys on the volume profile and pretty much every dip has held those low volume areas where we consolidate and rally, consolidate and rally. See the dips now. This was a lower volume area. It's kind of filled in, but we're still holding this area around yesterday's close on these dips, right? So nothing too significant for me as long as we're just in this range. I've been talking about this 69.30s to 50s is kind of like, I don't want to be involved in the middle of the range there. Let me get rid of some of this. You can see there's just been that declining interest above or below that. And inside the middle of that, 30 to 50 range has just been chopping block up and down. So I'm watching that range. If we get outside of it and we retest it, I'm open to playing the downside, but I want to see, I don't want to be a first seller. I want to see significant selling and see it get defended. To the upside, same thing. If we break out, I'll watch it. But I wouldn't be too terribly entirely surprised to just see a fake out high or low and just kind of mean revert back inside this range, right? I really don't. I would be surprised if we have any surprises here as far as the interest rate decision. Now, there's other stuff going on. I think there's some earnings coming out later, and there is probably even higher impact, this stuff that is about the Trump and China's president meeting about this whole tariff situation. That's been kind of the greatest driving force in the market right now. Sorry, let me copy this. Yeah, Pat said very tough week for him. Haven't caught a win yet. Yeah, I had one break even this morning, had a break even yesterday, and Monday I had a couple tick loss. Nothing super significant really all week. Just kind of surviving. There's been some decent moves. There's been some opportunities. I just haven't caught them at the right moment. And it's, despite the moves, it's been kind of choppy. Like, it looks a little cleaner looking at a higher time frame chart. But to be honest with you guys, like, watching the order flow in the moment and even lower time frame charts, just looking at price action, it's been fairly choppy. It seems like people want to sell this news. It seems like every pop, people are really wanting to sell today. So won't be surprised if we also see just a quick fake out drop. The nearest areas to watch to the downside for me, just looking at this volume profile chart, is just how all week we've continued to make dips into these lower volume areas and hold them. So this area here I'm watching, and down here around 6,900. So this is like around the 6920s and then around the 6,900. So those are like the nearest downside areas that I'm looking at. Those aren't too far away. We could drop and just kind of completely smash through them. But the two nearest areas is those two areas around 6,900 and around 6,920. If we just completely fall off the cliff, and those could either be used as possibly a target or possibly an entry area. But I'm going to definitely let the dust settle here a little bit. I'm not trying to jump into anything right off the get-go. I don't really trade the news. A lot of people see this high volatility opportunities, and just the market has the potential to make crazy moves fast, and they want to size up. They want to take massive trades, and that's really the opposite of what you should do. Highly recommend just sizing down and staying very patient for key levels, especially higher time frame key levels, and not over risking, over trading. You want to be, anytime you do anything in trading, you want to have a repeatable process for it. And if you can't, repeat it day in and day out, and you're just trying to catch a lucky win, even if you catch that, it's not going to matter because you're going to continuously lose money over time in trading. So I am here to walk through this high volatility news event with you guys, see what happens, and hopefully change your mindset to approaching trading more professionally, to win over time on a daily, weekly basis, and not try to catch lucky windfall news moves. Because like I said, if that's how you approach trading, even if you make money in the short term on a move, it's not going to matter anyway, because if you continue to approach the markets like that, you're going to have a negative return over time. 100%. 100%. You will not win over time like that. But here we go, 2 o'clock, interest rate decision. Nice little pop to the upside, but didn't really go anywhere. So it looks like the interest rate decision is exactly in line with expectations. No surprise there. I think there was like 99%. That's what was being priced in. Now, yeah, the tape is always very thin. Very thin around news events like this. Now the question is, does this uptrend we've seen this week actually have legs, or were people just kind of already pricing in this rate cut and now we kind of go nowhere from here? It's actually a pretty muted reaction. We do have Powell speaking at 2:30, and that may be the higher impact driver is just his comments on the future outlook of rate cuts. How is everyone trading this week? Have you guys caught some moves? Have you guys been struggling on this kind of grindy uptrend we've been on this week? Starting to see some selling coming in. Yeah, starting to see some selling coming in. So here's the low of that kind of higher volume range we've been in, around 69.30s. Be interesting to see what happens here. So far, every time recently, sellers have tried to like break a level to the downside or get any continuation to the downside, they have gotten wiped out and we've swept right back higher. So it has been a bloodbath for bears recently. Blair, been quite picky with the conditions. Thick Puff said only 2 trades this week, last one. That's good, man. That's good to hear. A lot of people are kind of just chilling and not, forcing anything and staying patient. Really, that's kind of what I've been seeing is the best approach in the conditions recently. I haven't been seeing a ton of opportunity. It's been in here and there, caught some good moves, but definitely sitting back, staying very patient, and picking good spots has been very important recently. Kind of a thicker offer here just got filled. See that right there on the depth of market? 1,700 lots, positive delta, so a passive seller. We'll see if buyers break out above that or if that holds. That's, anytime you see 1,000+ lot order at one place, definitely put a star on that and watch how price reacts up or down from there. You can see how that just made all the other bubbles minuscule with the size of that. Starting to speed up here. Definitely some selling pressure coming into the downside. We're just a point or two under those 30s. Like I said, if we do go and break that kind of consolidation range that I've been watching here around 30s to 50s, if we break that to the downside, kind of the next areas that I'm looking at is just a quick drop into the 20s or, 6,900, which is kind of prior day lows. But right now it's looking like we're not getting a really strong reaction kind of either way from this news event. So we're just kind of still in the range here. When the tape is thin like this, and there's the potential for a lot of good sized orders to come in, it can cause a lot of very unpredictable up and down volatility. So you want to be sized accordingly, make sure you're not oversizing your trades, and just expect, when there's that high of volatility in things, your stop loss may not be respected. So that's why I typically size down, because even if you have a hard limit order set in for your stop, with the news volatility that comes in, you could easily be swept out for substantially more than wherever your stop loss is set. Yeah, Truman asked, can you use Bookmap at any time frame? You guys see me zoom in and out here? That's a question I get often. So Bookmap is not like time-based like a candle chart. It's just the real-time orders as they come in the market. So I can kind of zoom out and it will kind of merge the bubbles together a bit. So you can see the time intervals down here. Now this is a 5-minute interval. And I can zoom out more and more. Now I typically have it, depending on the day, I'll typically have it somewhere between like 15, 5, or like 1-minute intervals down here. And I'm just scrolling on my mouse in and out to view it. Kind of zoom out on the day and see, where the orders are. Right now, it looks like we just did kind of that mean reversion sweep up and down, and we're right in the middle. And that's pretty much exactly what I said. I wouldn't be surprised to see if we just kind of see a mean reversion here in this range. Without unless there's a significant surprise. That's so far what we're getting. But yeah, there's no specific time interval. It's just the real-time orders as they come in the market. And you can see I can zoom in and out here, and I can get as granular as I want, really. Now you can see this is like 5-second intervals here. So this is like literally seeing the buy and sell orders as they hit, like by the second or millisecond. Right? But you want to be kind of maintaining a good perspective of where you're at and not overly zoomed in on order flow, especially if it's at a non-key area in price. So okay, good question. What indicator or study do you have for the large delta that appears on your Bookmap? So this is the Bookmap absorption indicator. Let me see it here. Here it is. So there's my settings for that. It just shows any like large orders. So standard I have it set to the automatic mode. So within the last 30 minutes, if an order, it comes in 18 times larger than what the average order is over the last 30 minutes, then it will highlight that for me. It's not something that I necessarily use for like an entry confirmation or anything. It just kind of brings my attention to any like abnormally sized orders, especially if I see it triggering a lot frequently around a specific area. It's an indicator that, some kind of activity, whether it's algos or something, are hitting around that. And obviously we can see here on the heat map, this was a passive seller for 1,000 lots, and it got filled by all these aggressive buyers. But again, that's just one piece of information. We need to see how the auction and participants react around it. So far, it doesn't, look too significant either way. Yeah, for sure. Good question, David. Yeah, I mean, if we drop towards the 6920s, 6900s, it depends on how we react there. If buyers defend that, then we could mean revert back into this consolidation range. If we break through there, then sellers may be kind of shifting and taking control, and we could gravitate back towards that gap level down in the 68, what is that, 68, 65s, where we gapped up to Sunday. Hey, Kimmy Morrow asked, in your mentorship, do you show Bookmap live every day? I do. Yeah. So I trade live every morning, unless I'm, honestly, I think this has been going on for almost 2 months now, and I haven't had a day off, but I'm one person. So there may be a day I'm sick and I'm not in the markets or something like that. But for the most part, I'm live streaming every single morning, and I share my screens. I talk through my game plan setups that I'm looking for and the live trades that I take. But yeah, I go on live stream and share my screens every day. But it's not a signal group, right? I don't do it for the purpose of doing trade signals for people. It's to kind of help you learn faster how to read the order flow for yourself, how to make trade setups and plans for yourself. Yeah, Daniel, I'll share that in there. I just use this automatic mode, and the only thing I really adjust is the standard deviation multiplier. Depending on how volatile it is and how the size of orders, I will slide this up and down, typically between like 10 and 20. If it's triggering too much, then I'll increase it. So I see it only triggers over like really large things. And if it's not really triggering at all, then I'll decrease it more towards like 10. But I don't really have anything else set on it here. Do that right now. Kind of dropping aggressively again from here. Let me get rid of this. No, Gabriel, I do not use the iceberg indicator on Bookmap. Honestly, I mean, I don't want to. It's a really great indicator. It's amazing. The icebergs one, the absorption one, Bookmap, but I really don't use any indicators at all for my trading. It's just to kind of grab my attention. Honestly, I don't need this indicator to see this large order hitting this offer, right? I don't need the indicator to tell me that. But it does bring my attention, especially if I step away and grab water and I come back, and then it brings my attention to maybe a large order that hit that I missed or something like that. But so far lacking direction, guys. We're just kind of still hanging around. But good questions in the chat. I'm happy to answer questions as we watch through this together. Remember, we got 15 minutes till Jay Powell, big man, starts talking. And we all know what can happen when that man says good morning or good afternoon. You know what I mean? Got my healthy root beer. Yeah, in the mentorship, do you go deeply into helping us understand how you trade the Dom Pro? Yeah, I mean, pretty much. I mean, I think everybody's in here in the chat and they can answer that for you. But I think we go pretty deep dive into real-time analysis pretty much on order flow every day with the Dom, footprint charts, Bookmap. I mean, I pretty much walk through everything that I'm doing every single day as far as real-time analyzing order flow, coming up with game plans and charts. So all of that. Volume threshold for the bubbles. It's not something I really change. I need to make a video. I've got videos for my Tradeovate stuff and things like that. I need to make a video going through my settings for Bookmap. If you guys are interested in Bookmap, I do have a discount code you guys can use if you'd like. Again, I'll just share that here for you guys if you're interested. If you don't already have Bookmap and you're interested in it, it's my preferred order flow tool. Where is it? It's a pretty hefty discount. We have struggled to get any kind of continuation under those 30s today. It's been tested multiple times. Yeah, I did that years ago. I used Bookmap via Thinkorswim. I did that for the first year or two that I used Bookmap back in like, I don't know, 2020, I think. But I eventually just moved to the standalone. It was a great starter. And if you're trying to save a buck and you're cost conscious, it's for sure a good option, especially because I already use Thinkorswim for the charts as well. But I use Bookmap pretty extensively. And so the more experienced I got, I eventually just switched over to using the standalone program. And the big thing is I really love this Dom Pro and some other, you know, add-ons and things that are not available in the Thinkorswim. But if you just want the heat map and the bubble chart, and you're just getting started, the Thinkorswim option is great, and it's a lot cheaper. I think I don't know the price off the top of my head, but it's probably like half the price. So we are still holding this range, and I've been talking about this. If I pull up the Discord here, this is the game plan that I shared early this morning, and I said this at 8:59 this morning. I was pretty much just watching out for price to stay in this range from the 30s to the 50s. And even post the 2 p.m. news, we're still kind of in that 30 to 50 range. Yeah, I made a video going over my the Tradeovate footprint and Tradeovate volume profile that I use in my analysis. The next one on the list is I'll go through a video covering my Bookmap settings. looking at the volume profile charts here, this is that range. This is a trade of 8, 30-minute chart. You can see this volume that we've just built here. And every time we dip these lows, we've dipped our toes under that 30 level a couple times now, and just nothing doing. Right back into it. Yeah, last month was great for me personally as well. This month has been a little bit worse. Filter to this month. This month, I have a 58% win rate and 6R average, 6.6 average R multiple. Again, every single trade that I've taken has been shared live with the flipping futures community. Looks like we're just kind of oscillating around where this large order hit at the 34s. You can see that over here on the DOM. Kind of a volume trail down at the lows. It still looks weak. I mean, we're still kind of making lower highs on these pops here. So that is something that I generally look for when a breakdown is impending, is when we continue to see a lot of large selling volume at the lows and we make multiple lower highs on pops off of it. That is something I watch out for leading up to a breakdown. So that is a piece of context we could add here if we do break down strongly under these 30s. See, we had that pop here, failed. It just looks like we've just kind of been dragging lower all day. I mean, look at all this aggressive buying this morning, then all this aggressive buying here, all this aggressive buying here, and it just looks like, I don't know. I mean, this could change. We're at all-time highs. It's not great quality to look for shorts, but it seems like the market is like trying to jump multiple times throughout the day today, and it's got like ankle weights on. It's got dumbbells tied to its ankles every time it tries to jump. So this is interesting now. If we add this context here with, we've had 3 lower highs now, and we saw that aggressive buying pop in on the news here right at 2. We tried to pop here, massive passive seller here stepped in with about 1,000 lots. We popped a little bit over it, still didn't really get very far. Popped a third time here, got even less far. So it seems like potentially buyers might be running out of gas here, and we might break down under these 69.30s. And if we do that, I could see us dropping quickly to the 69.20s, maybe 6900. But you don't want to step in front of anything here because, you know, just look at a chart over the last weeks, months, forever. Every time we get a quick dip, it's been bought up really fast. So I am hesitant how we've gone so far up here. We've been consolidating since yesterday afternoon up here, and we have that massive gap to start the week. Just, it feels a little bit like a house of cards that could come back down pretty quick. Let's take a look at the VIX. Somebody said, David said, check out the VIX. Yeah. VX had a nice little fake out dip. I look at the VX futures. Take a snip of this actually. VX had a pretty decent little fake out dip here. That little wick, but honestly didn't get below prior day lows, and it's starting to elevate here. So there's that gap level. from the VX futures. Nothing too significant. Like if the VX got back above this gap and kind of held a retest above it, I could see a lot more downside pressure start forming on ES. I do see what you're talking about with this trend line, though. But so far, kind of a boring FOMC event here, which is going perfectly with this relatively boring trading week. But got to stay patient and disciplined. I mean, a lot of people know how to make money trading. The biggest thing that people don't do well, in my opinion, from what I've seen, and I've been in this space for a long time now, is people don't know how to sit on their hands and stay patient for good setups. And any little bit of money they make, they end up just dribbling it back, taking bad trades, unnecessary losses. Yeah, we got 5 minutes till Powell starts speaking. So just wait for that. Good afternoon. SOX is also staying pretty elevated. It gapped up, staying pretty high. Hasn't really given much back. NQ, pretty much looking like ES today. Pretty much the same chart. All right, 5 minutes till Powell starts speaking. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna step away for a quick minute, grab a glass of water. Oh boy, I missed nothing. My favorite part about the FOMC stuff is just all the memes and GIFs I get to see after about trading. Cracks me up. I know. It used to be a thing, Thick Puff. It used to be a thing where if I just step away for a minute, then this thing would start moving, something would start happening. But lately it's like, nah, we don't care anymore. We're just doing nothing. So I'm going to have to find a new trick. This is looking weak though, guys. Honestly, to me, it could shoot up. I mean, either way, you know, because we keep defending these 30s, but I am noting how we are continuing to pop 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times now and making lower highs each time. Now we're starting to break above it here. We'll see what happens. It's a total coin flip. I'm not putting any trades when that man's lips are moving, but we'll see what happens. Two-minute chart, yeah, looking here. Let's look at some perspective here. Two-minute chart here. Just a pretty choppy pennant here for this FOMC news event right now, rate decision, which is right in line with what we've been seeing going on all week. All right, so I assume he said good afternoon. Maybe. I don't even have it pulled up. Does anybody else have it pulled up? Triangle pattern, yeah. Yeah, I could pull it up. I just don't want to, you know, put the terrible audio on the live stream here. And honestly, it doesn't matter too much because anything he says, I'm going to see the reaction and price on order flow before I even hear it over the live stream, over the news. It's going to be delayed. I'm going to see the reaction and price before I even see it, you know, before I even hear it, before it can even be broadcast. I'm going to already be seeing the reaction and the order flow. So it's kind of meaningless. Yeah, Stelios. Sometimes good is bad and bad is good. You just, yeah, they'll be like, oh, you know, the good news was already priced in, and so it wasn't good enough for price to keep going up. So we're just kind of trickling back down, and that's probably what's going on here. But all right, so he must have started speaking now. Some surge in orders going on here. Bear in mind, we have not really been able to successfully even get under the 30s, which was just that bottom of the range that I've been talking about since early this morning to watch out for. Just right back up to the middle. Zooming out here. Just always like to zoom out to maintain perspective on the day, right? If that was it, if that was all we had for selling and we couldn't even get under the 30s, which is like just not even the overnight lows, then could be squeezing straight back to the all-time highs, 69.50s. got to think, like, until some kind of news driver comes in, there's just not a whole lot of reason to go short this market when we just keep trending up, trending up. Look at the 15-minute chart. We had these lows here overnight, very close to that 30 level, and we dipped under it once, dipped under it twice, and now we're right back up into the middle between that 50 and 30 area that I talked about. Just hanging out in the middle. The last FOMC rate decision, I did this live stream on YouTube for that one as well, and caught a nice trade. We had some good volatility came in. I forget how much or what it was, honestly. I think it was like a 17-point scalp on ES, which is definitely a healthy scalp, healthy size scalp. So back to the middle, back down again. Whoa. What is going on here? My data is super delayed on Bookmap because I was looking at my other charts and price was way down. Bookmap is super delayed, 15 seconds delayed up here. There we go. There we go. Down to the 6900s. Yeah, my Bookmap data was super delayed there for some reason. So much information coming in, it just completely 20 seconds delayed here. Wow. Massive delay on Bookmap data. Yeah, so I'm looking at my other charts here. There we go. Almost down to those 6900s. Hard to put on any trades here, though. Wow, that is a crazy delay on Bookmap. I wonder if it's because I'm doing the live stream too at the same time. I don't know. No confirmation on rate cuts for December. I mean, that doesn't mean much. It's not. I'll have to see what exactly was said, but like they never confirm rates for the next cycle. Really? Do they? They can't say that for sure. December rate cut is not certain. Far from it. Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of meaningless. This Bookmap is super delayed, so can't really watch it and speak to it. I'm looking at the other my footprint charts. Let's see here. Here's the 6900s now. Hard to step in front of this, but here's those 6900s. It's almost, what in the heck? It's like a full minute delayed. Let me just put this Tradeovate screen on. You guys want to watch the Tradeovate screen? That's like a full minute delayed going on there. Yeah, so it must be the rhythmic data is having problems here. So multiple massive orders here hitting around 6,900. I'm just looking at the footprint charts here. We can see it here, here, and here. Large positive delta. Don't know what to make of it. It's hard to go against this strong of a downside move, though. Very hard to execute a trade here. Even my Sierra chart is lagging. Hard to get involved with anything here. Just look at the you can see this is that lower volume area that we just hit there. Yeah, my stuff is all just absolutely tripping right now. I don't normally see this happen, even with crazy volatility coming in, to be honest with you guys. Even when crazy news volatility comes in, I don't normally see this kind of delay going on here. Stelio said he has the same. Let me know in the chat. Are you guys having a similar issue with Bookmap right now? $94, $92. So this seems to be on time. Let me move this. Yeah, I mean, I'm having like a full 45-second delay here on Bookmap. So that is basically unusable for analysis right now. Jeez. So it seems like it's the rhythmic data. Yeah, Tradeovate. This is a different data provider on Tradeovate. Tradeovate and Sierra Chart are keeping up. I have Denali data on Sierra Chart. I have whatever the CME data is through Tradeovate. But on Bookmap, I have rhythmic data, and that seems to be the problem. People always ask me all the time, like, why do you have different data providers? Why don't you just use one? Or like, why do you have Bookmap and Footprint Charts? Or why do you have two brokers? Because I have Tradeovate up and I have Sierra Chart. This is why, guys, because you just never know, like, what if this issue that we're seeing on Bookmap data was on one of my broker accounts where I'm trying to execute my orders, either on Sierra Chart or Tradeovate, right? This is why I have multiple options going on. So testing, I have a somewhat key level here around 68.90, which is prior all-time high, but we're just kind of crushing through it now. We started to pop off of it. At this point, I don't see much stopping this thing from going for the gap fill. Yeah, Denali is good and Tradeovate are good. It's just seeming to be, yeah, it's still going on here. It's less now, 9 seconds, but still 9 seconds is totally unusable for scalping. Can't do that. It seems to be rhythmic data. But it stinks because Bookmap is my favorite order flow tool because I can see the heat map along with this data on the footprint chart, but it's all good. Don't need it. So I'm watching to see if we do move down towards that gap level now, if we get a gap fill bounce, just to take it for a quick scalp. If we get all the way down to the gap fill without any real bounce, then we could set up for a really nice scalp bounce off the gap fill. Unless I see something super significant here, I don't see much here. We are seeing some defense here around these 85s, but I don't really have any kind of super key level here or anything. This is Monday's range where we kind of consolidated and rallied out of. At least something's happening though, right, guys? Hopefully nobody got caught off sides with that move. Here's some buying stepping in. Here's some buying stepping in. Let's see if we get a pullback here at all to these 85s to 90s. If we get a quick little pullback there, I'm interested. See how this large buying came in and swept it up? Dang, I missed it. Can't chase that. But if we get a little pullback here, I'm interested. This might be too late though. Yeah, if we get a pullback here between like 85 and 90-ish, might be interested in seeing if we get another bounce from that. You can see where see the volume on this right-hand side of this footprint chart, how he just absolutely swept it up there. Now hang on. I caught one scalp this morning. That was it. But I closed it break even. Still that delay. It looks like the delay is off Bookmap now. See that large order that hit there? 88s, yeah. Looks like that's fixed now. Ooh. Well, we got it. We dropped right into that area that I talked about between 85 and 90. I did not catch it. But right there, 85 on the dot. I was kind of switching around between Bookmap and footprint chart there, and it shot instantly. I did not catch it. But you can see how we saw that area going back here. Let me zoom out. You see how from the order flow, I saw this area here where that large buying came in right here and swept that up. That's why I was watching this zone here between 85 and 90. And we dropped right in there, like to the tick off 85 and ripped. Did not catch it on my end, unfortunately. But you guys see how we spotted that aggressive buying that came in and then it just swept higher here. Look at the volume, the build at the bottom and swept up. That's why I was watching this zone where that buying was aggressive. We dropped right back into there and exploded off of it. We're still kind of trying to resist here at 6900s. Still trying to resist a little bit here at 6900s. But it looks like buyers are going to take back over here. Could be wrong. We still have that untouched gap level, though, down there under 6,900, down in 68, 65s. So if this pop fails at 6,900 here and we continue lower, then, 68, 65s are within view, that gap level. You can see 1, 2, 3 tests here all in this zone. Buyers trying to break back above 6,900 have not been able to yet. Watching that area. I'm trying to keep my eye in the corner of the screen here in case Bookmap starts going delayed again. This went 0 to 100. It was a very boring FOMC event, and that changed. Zero prints all over the place, yeah. I could see us definitely popping back up into the 20s to 30s. Realistically, I mean, we haven't even gone red on the week, right? So I think if buyers break back above these 6900s, we could quickly go back up to those where all those zero prints are in the 20s. But if they don't, then we could leave those unfilled for now and quickly go back towards that gap level. I think this is kind of a pivotal attempt from buyers here to get back over these 6900s. Could potentially look at maybe like a break and retest over this 6900 zone that I marked here. Trying to break over it now. Let's see if we get a little retest pullback. Still watching this box area here. Yeah, I like it. I just didn't see anything to pull the trigger on it. If we get a retest and I see some bids appear in this zone, defend this breakout of 6900s, then you could possibly look at to take it long and target those 6920s. But this sucker's moving fast. Oh. It's too fast, guys. I couldn't catch it. Did you see how he dropped there to that box that I drew and just instantly shot up, you know, from 05s to 15s, 10 points in like a second? I couldn't, I was looking to buy if we came down here to this box and I couldn't, I just froze because we literally hit it. And like, let me zoom in here from 51.38 to, you know, 51, like milliseconds, we went 10 points, guys. I couldn't even catch it. I was literally finger on the trigger looking to buy if we dipped into this box here. And I was not even able to pull the trigger fast enough. Literally by the time my brain processed this bubble hit this green line, before my finger could even click buy, we were already up here. So I just immediately just froze. I'm not going to chase it 10 points higher. I was literally watching for this pullback into this box and we hit the line. But I mean, you guys see how powerful this is, like looking at order flow like this to see this zone so clearly. And I mean, we hit it right there, but it's just moving too fast. I couldn't even pull the trigger on it. I guess I could have possibly set a limit buy there and hope it got filled. But honestly, I didn't know it would react so quickly. I was just looking for within this box. If we dropped, I was looking for bids and defense from buyers, and we literally hit it on the nose right there and just ripped 10 points in like 10 milliseconds. Couldn't even click the mouse in time. I was just looking to see if I started to see aggressive buying step in here around this. And literally, like by the time I even saw it and my brain processed it to click buy, we were already 10 points up. So I didn't take it. Yeah, I mean, I'm still watching if we drop back into here, but I'll be honest, I will not love if we've popped off of this multiple times now and then failed to break out into the 20s. And if we go and hit the 20s and fill those zero prints that are up there from where price traded down so hard, then I'm not going to look for that. This has just been the story of my life this week. Is like, I've had good setups to trade. I just haven't caught them. Like this right there is case in point. Like I was literally finger on the buy button, watching for this dip into this green box. And we just hit it on the nose and ripped 10 points in milliseconds. Couldn't even catch it. Israel asked, what's a zero print? That's just an area. So up here, like this, for example, see, I have the volume profile sell, volume profile buy. We can see on one side, like zero volume was transacted because price traded down so quickly. You can see it here, there. It's generally an area that will often get retested in the near term. If price traded through it so fast, we tend to retest those areas. But yeah, look at that box, man. We hit that on the nose and just ripped. I mean, it's cool. The analysis worked. I was looking for that exact setup. I said a few seconds before this, I was looking for the break and retest above this box here. And we got it like to the tick. We nailed it. But it just was too quick. I couldn't even catch it. Could not even click in time. And I'm not going to take the trade up here at the 15s when I'm targeting the 20s and have like 10 points of risk for 10 points of reward. That's not for me. Frustrating, guys. I'll be honest with you. That was the setup I wanted right there. I was literally finger on the trigger waiting for it. Nothing you can do about that. Just drag this over. Anybody do like quick scoping in video games? That's what this feels like. Trying to catch an entry, trying to like quick scope a sniper shot. I mean, even trying to quick scope the sniper shot here, I still couldn't even pull the trigger fast enough before it bounced. Yeah, 360 no scope. Yeah, that was wild, man. I mean, perfect setup. You guys, so did you guys at least see the analysis of what I was looking for in the setup? I mean, if conditions were different and this wasn't so fast, I would have been able to hopefully pull the trigger on that. But we had this resistance area multiple times around this 6,900 whole number. And we were holding higher lows. We saw that really strong buying defending these lows. So that's when I was like, okay, I don't want to step in front of it, but if we break this and retest, then this is going to commence a short squeeze, right? In the near term, everybody that sold that drop is going to be, squeezed out of their positions. They're going to have to buy it back. So once we broke this high, I was looking for that pullback right there, and it just happened too quick, man. I could not catch it. NQ traders are like, what do you mean, man? This is like every day. No. Yeah, like it just bounced so quick. Like by the time I even mentally processed it, it was already up here. And so here's 1451. I mean, a second, really. It just kind of froze me. Yeah, we already came back up here to the 20s. We still have more zero prints up above. So we still have more up here at the 27s, 26s. So like right here, for example, at 27.29, 69, 27.25, 23 aggressive sellers hit and 0 buyers transacted. So we can see the volume profile delta was negative 23, and there was a total of 23 lots traded at that price. So they were all on one side of the bid or the ask, and it left 0 volume transacted on that side. And so that's what we're looking at for the zero print thing, guys. Yeah, I mean, if we happen to get a drop back down, I'll look for it. It's not as good now, I think, since we already bounced up this far, but we still have more zero prints unfilled up there in the 26s, 27s. So it's still a valid target, and it's just a target. Like it tends to act like a magnet towards price. So, but I'm not going to chase it all the way up here. So if we get another like impulsive pullback that holds another dip, then I'll look for it. It's kind of a good idea at the current state to just kind of zoom out a little bit and stay at peace. I'm liking this area between 69.05 and 69.08. If we get a quick impulsive pullback there before we go hit these 26, 27s, I may be interested in it, but it may just keep going. And you just have to be at peace. Like if you don't catch it, even, you know, sometimes the setup works and you just miss the entry. Just can't chase it. You can't fade it. The worst thing that you can do is start making compound errors out of like frustration. You just kind of got to just smile and wave. There's always another setup. $69.30s. If we go fill those zero prints, $69.30s is the bottom of that prior consolidation area, which sellers may want to look to defend on a retest. You can see all the liquidity built up here on the heat map, right? All this orange resting orders at those 69.30s. We have VWAP there also. We have those zero prints right here at 27s. So it'll be interesting if we do pop up there into the 27s to 30s to see if sellers defend that. And I could zoom out. I'm sure we have a low volume area there that formed. I mean, this whole area is a low volume area, but yeah. That was a really nice, 15 pointer there from those 69.05s to 69.20s. But yeah, like I said, couldn't catch it, hit that box on the nose and just zipped out of there. Yeah, I would agree with that. Paypewed. Hopefully I said that right. Yeah, we're testing the value area low. Now, I have the value area low marked a bit higher, actually. On my chart, it's at 69.30s, which also aligns with, here, I'll pull up a screenshot here. That also aligns with that balance area that I talked about here, 69.30s-ish. You can see it right there. That also aligns with that high volume area that we broke down. So we broke it down. If we retest it, that'll be interesting to see what happens there, if buyers recapture that or not. But I still think this is a valid target area between like 26, 27s. It's just not as good anymore. But you see this pullback we just got here to 08s held. And that was right in that zone I was talking about. Dang, those 08s to 05s. Yeah, I don't love how we did bounce already so high though off this and, kind of consolidated up here. Now we're dropping back. This was a great trade here. Now it's maybe not a great trade. We'll see what happens. We're back in that box now. Yeah, I'm kind of just sitting back here, guys. You know, we already kind of went all the way up into the 20s. Now we're consolidated up there, and now we're dropping back. So we'll see. Could bounce out of here again, but definitely want to be cautious. I'll see what I see. Trying to bounce out of here again. This time I took it at 69.05. I'm going to kind of go break even immediately. See if we can go back into those 26s. Yeah, I'm immediately trailing my risk there to 69.05. It may come back and stop me break even, but it may go back and take out those 26s. So I bought it as soon as I saw this aggressive buying coming in here. I took it and just put my stop initially here under 69.01. See if we can go take out these prior swing highs here. At least get back into the 69.20s. See that large order resting right there? See if we can pop into that. It would be unfortunate if we come all the way back to my entry at 05s. Now here I was up like 13 points. But 'tis what it is. Zooming out here. We took out this high here. Let's see if we can go just hit this area here in the 20s. There we go. I'm out. So 15 points there. I was risking 3 or 4. I got filled at 05s. I was risking just under 01 here. So 4 points risk, 15-point target. I have 6 27-inch monitors. Here, let me change my screen view so I can get this in view here. Going to take a screenshot because my account number is up on here, but I'll share a screenshot with you guys. So real trade, real account, not a prop account, real cash account. So there's my entry, 69.05. I saw all that aggressive selling get trapped in that zone that I was watching. Remember, I marked that box for you guys around there. And then I saw all that aggressive buying step in, and I immediately went with it right there, 69.05. And I got filled. I market exited right here. I got filled at 1975, 1975. So about 15 points there, 14.75 points. And my risk was right here under where that aggressive buying started. So see how this selling got trapped, and then see right here where this aggressive selling came in. I put my stop loss right there, just under that. So I was risking about minus 3 points of risk there. And well, honestly, I was looking at the chart to place my stop loss, so I wasn't really even doing the math. But what is this? I was in at 05s. This was at like 02s. So yeah, I was risking about 3 points right there. And I made almost basically 15 points. Right? Yeah, market orders, limit. I had a limit order set for my stop. Always do hard limit orders in fast conditions like this. Even if I just drag it a few points out and I'm going to manually manage the trade, but just as a safety net, that hard limit stop is set. Yeah, I shared in the chat like, you can't make this up, guys. Like, I just shared the analysis, the box with you guys live. I missed the first one. I missed it, but I waited to see something good. And look, so this is what I saw on the heat map here, right? See this at 6,900, that large order? I didn't get it filled right there. I waited to see aggressive buying come in. And then I saw this on the heat map pop up right as all this aggressive buying came in. And I immediately market longed with it at 6,905 and just put my stop loss right under here, right? Just 3 points lower. And it was, and you guys heard me in real time. As it shot up, I just immediately went break even with my risk, because this type of scalp and this type of volatility for me is right now or right out. So as soon as I was up like 5 points and it ripped out of there, I immediately just dragged my stop loss up to break even. Right? There it is. No hindsight analysis, real time. And it's not like a random setup and I'm showing you after the fact, right? I drew it out, shared the exact zone that I was watching within a couple points. So I market enter my orders with a bracket. So it automatically sets a 20-point stop and a 5-point stop loss. It automatically sets a 20-point target and a 5-point stop loss. And then I will click and drag that where specifically I want it, if that makes sense. So I market entered, it had a 5-point stop. I dragged it up to that spot that I showed you. So it was about a 3-point stop. And then I was just a couple points away from the auto bracket order that it set for my 20-point target, but I just clicked flatten all. As soon as we popped up here into these 20s, where that liquidity was that I showed you, I was watching in real time, I just immediately clicked flatten all, market exit. And that filled me at 19.75. So 15 points on 3 points of risk. You do the math. It's a good business model. There it is, guys. And that's all you need. So I could sit here and be like, oh man, I wish I caught this whole, move, whatever. But no, I'm looking for the same repeatable setups that I trade, whether there's this volatility going on or whether it's a normal average day, like everybody in flipping futures sees me trade every day, right? It may keep going from here. I may have missed a bigger move. We may go retrace all the way back into 30s. That's okay. I'm all good. I caught my scalp. You know what I mean? What I was looking at when I exited here is I was just looking at these prior highs right here that we made. And I saw this liquidity up here and I said, okay, if this is a failed breakout, and also, okay, if I was in multiple contracts, the volatility is super high. I will normally trade like 2 to 4 ES mini contracts. I'm trading just one contract right now because the volatility is crazy. So, just trading one contract. No big deal. If I was trading multiple, I would have probably just scaled one here and held my stop loss and just see if we go break out into the 30s, or trailed my stop loss to the 50% between that move. But yeah, does the analysis for that setup make sense to you all? Man, we only got 57 people on the stream now. I think there was like 80 or 90 earlier. Everybody left early. They got bored and missed the trade. It happens fast, guys. It can go from 0 to 100. That's why you just have to stay patient. You wait for the repeatable setups that that you trade. And then when they happen, you pull the trigger, you follow your plan, you manage your risk, and then you get out. That's it. It sounds simple, and it can be simple with experience. But doing it live is hard and requires experience. And that's why for training people, that's why I started the flipping futures thing. So you can literally like see it live. Literally anybody can talk about things in hindsight, right? And it's great to learn from courses and stuff. That is important to get a foundation. but I think most people have a general idea, and learning something as dynamic as order flow, I think is best done live. And so that's why I trade live, to do this for an education purpose for people every day. So took the same long entry at 69.03, trimmed half at 20, holding the rest with a break-even stop. Yeah, great trade management, great execution, fantastic. Why did you trade so late? What do you mean? Nice catch, Andrew. Great trade, guys. So hopefully this analysis helped you guys seeing the same thing. Why did I trade so late? Not sure what you mean. I don't always trade afternoons. I normally trade between 9 a.m. and 11 a.m. when the volume and volatility is best. But today I'm doing the afternoon trading just because we have FOMC event going on. It can spark a lot of volume and volatility, and sometimes that creates opportunities, like I just traded with you guys. That was a very quick 15-point trade, so I'll take it. But you guys saw I've been on the stream since before the news event even started, right? And I'm not looking to just randomly gamble trades into the news. I do trade every day at 9:30 JWR. I trade every day live at 9:30 between like 9 and 11 a.m. in the private community that I run. I also trade publicly on Fridays normally, and I have something big in the works right now that will be, public live streams on Fridays. But I do a lot of coaching and mentorship for people in the flipping futures community, and I trade live every morning with everyone, and those are all recorded. I also do training sessions, webinars once a week. That's usually an hour or two of training outside of the live trading. So, it's a lot in there as far as coaching, mentorship, and live training, live trading, and all of that. But I sometimes I used to trade pretty much all day, right? Because I trade full time. I used to trade all day, but now I primarily just focus on times when there's the best opportunity between like 9 and 11 a.m. But today, this afternoon, I'm doing this because the FOMC rate decision is today. So that creates a lot of volume and volatility, which as a newer trader can really trip people up. I'm sure a lot of accounts were blown today. Sad but true. I've been there. I've done that. Fortunately, I'm in a place where I have enough experience where I can be patient and disciplined and still make money on the volatility that we saw. But I was doing this publicly just to help as many people as possible, at least just not blow their accounts in this. Hopefully the analysis I shared helps some people, catch this trade or a similar trade. But doing this afternoon specifically because of the FOMC event. And you guys can all thank the people in the flipping futures community, because I asked them this morning if I should do this, and they said yes. So that's why we're here. So in the description of this live is the link if you guys are interested in that. I put a lot of work into helping people progress in their trading journey there. But, if you're not ready for that, I will continue to do stuff on YouTube and Instagram. If you guys have any questions about things, the best way to reach me is on Instagram. Send me a DM. And, I will be doing more live trading on YouTube on Fridays. So check out Instagram for announcements from me. If you guys would like to see more stuff that's in the works, that's going to be coming out. It's going to be really good. Does anybody have any questions about this trade setup or the order flow analysis or anything like that before I wrap up the stream? That's a one and done for me. 15 points is a nice catch. Yeah, I mean, I didn't need more than that. 3-point risk is all I needed, because that's where that aggressive buying came in. And that's the power of reading the order flow and not just a candle chart, right? So you guys see, this is my trade. And so I saw, first of all, I was watching this 6905 to 6900 zone that I showed you guys on Bookmap, right? That's this zone here, right? Roughly 6905 to like 99. So I was watching that area based on, and the reason I was watching that area is because what we saw over here on the order flow, which was this resistance, right? And then we broke out above it. And then, you know, once I saw all of these sellers right here get trapped and aggressive buying started coming in, I immediately went with it right there. And I only need to put my stop loss under right there. That's where the sellers are trapped. I can clearly see on the cumulative delta, that's where the sellers are trapped. So my speculation is that those sellers are trapped, aggressive buying is coming in, and we are commencing the short squeeze now, which is all of these sellers that sold this drop into this key zone are about to get short squeezed, and we're going to go take out those highs up there, right now. So as soon as that aggressive buying came in, my initial stop loss was just right here under where the aggressive buying came in. And then as soon as we started breaking out, you know, over, I was specifically looking at this 500 lot negative delta. Once we broke out aggressively over that, then I trailed my stop to break even, because I was like, okay, either we're doing this thing, we're doing this short squeeze right now, or I'm getting out and I'll look to re-enter if we sweep back lower. Yeah, this is a trapped sellers like bottom reversal setup. Trapped sellers bottom reversal. We kind of formed a demand zone intraday. This, I mean, it's also, it's a few different setups, right? It's kind of dynamic because it's a break in, first it was a break and retest, right? This was the break and retest, but this became a key zone of like support and resistance, right? It was a resistance area that I knew buyers would want to defend if we come back to it. So it was the break and retest there. And then I used it as kind of like a bottom reversal area for a trapped seller's bottom reversal. So I missed it here as like a break and retest on it. And then I waited to come back and I used it as like a bottom reversal with trapped sellers. And we dropped back into that zone again, it looks like. 6905, look at that, to the tick. And we're bouncing off it again. Let me edit this and extend this over. I won't move the top at all. Look at that. Look at that precision. I mean, I don't know of any other trading strategy that will give you that kind of precision. I mean, I've been in this game. I've been trading since 2016. I've never seen anything else as precise as this. So 15 points on 3 points of risk during FOMC rate decision news. Kind of Jay Powell still speaking. Jay Powell speaking after 2:30 is what created this volatility, set up this opportunity. And that's how we capitalized on it. But great questions, guys. If you guys have any other questions after the stream, like I said, the best ways to reach me is on Instagram. Send me a DM. I'm very responsive there. And hope to see you guys, if you're not already in there, in the Flipping Futures community, where we trade like this live pretty much every day. How do you identify the initial resistance? Okay, so we dropped down here, and after this drop into these 68.85s, we bounced really aggressively. Like buyers were really aggressive multiple times, and you see how we held these higher lows, and each time in this zone. So first of all, look at this first zone where we topped here. See that absorption indicator triggering all over here. So there's a lot of activity here. Once, again, twice. So going back to that order flow, remember that absorption indicator I talked about earlier? How I'll use it is just to bring my attention to like significant orders if it occurs in an area like multiple times. So we hit there once, we hit there twice, we hit there 3 times. 3 times it resisted, and look at where where that absorption indicator triggered 1 time, 2 times, 3 times. So we can clearly see just this zone here acting as resistance. But each time we still made a higher low. So that told me buyers were still really aggressive and really trying to break through this thing. You see that higher lows each time? And we had already sold off a significant ways. So my speculation was if we break through this resistance, we're going to easily go back and test the 69.20s. Do I know for sure? No, it's just a probabilities game. And that's why I have a stop loss. But it was a very good probability. It was a good risk versus reward. So I take the trade. Good question. Good question. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap up the stream there. Hope you guys got a lot out of this and hope to see you guys in the Flipping Futures community if you're interested in that. If not, like I said, best way to reach me is on Instagram. We'll be back for live streams on Fridays. Stay tuned. There's some updates coming to that and it will be exciting for everyone. And I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.